Hi, it's Pat Gillis here. This is Pebbles. So, in case you've never been introduced before, Pebbles, also known as the senior consultant at Harrogate, is 35 this year, and this fall he foundered a little bit. The x-rays suggest it's not too severe, but he is pretty tender on those front feet right now. By the way, we did a video on laminitis or founder a while back, so I'll link to it below this video just if you're not sure what founder or laminitis is. At any rate, now my barn has 3 different levels that have 2 ramps that take you down to the next level. So Pebbles has to come up 1 level to go to the arena, where he's being turned out right now because there will be no grass for Pebbles. Now last week we thought that going down the ramp, going back to his stall, it seemed a bit harder for him. So we decided we're going to give him a stall in the top aisle, which is on the same level as the arena. So we made sure his new stall was really nice and thickly bedded, and then we put him in it. Now, Pebbles has lived at Harrogate since 2006, and yet he stood in that stall and he wouldn't touch his hay, he wouldn't touch his supper, he just kept kind of glancing at either wall of his stall, but he wouldn't do anything else. It was actually pretty sad. He looked so anxious. So we took him back down the ramp, back to his stall, which really isn't much more than 60 feet away from where he was. And as soon as he got in there, back to his regular stall, he started eating, etc., totally happy. Now, as I said, we have had the pleasure of Pebbles' company for 14 years. He walks through the part of the barn where his new stall was at least twice a day. He used to have free run of the place until this fall, so he's met all the other horses either over the fence or by joining them in a lesson when he feels so inclined. And yet that small change, moving him to a different stall, it created so much anxiety in him. I think it's because he's 35. He knows he's not as strong, that he's less agile, that he's more vulnerable, and the change in his circumstances was just too stressful for him. How many of you have seen ads on Facebook or whatever that say things like 27-year-old horse, we've had her for 20 years, free to a good home? Or 20-year-old horse, blind in one eye, free to a good home? Can you imagine the stress those horses go through? Now, I know buying and selling horses is a legitimate part of this business. As a friend of mine once said to me, and she's right, she said, Pat, if everyone was like you and never sold their horses, you'd never be able to buy one again. And she's right, it's totally true. But I still think that we should at least consider how difficult it is for older, somewhat infirm horses to transition to a new environment with new handlers and new herd mates. My experience with Pebbles last week reminded me why, despite the eventual inevitable heartbreak of keeping old horses until the end, it's worth it, because I think we owe them that after all they've done for us. So that's it for this week. If you're watching this anywhere besides at our blog, which is at ismyhorsehappy.com, go on over there, scroll down, leave me a message, and have a great week. Remember to thank your horse. Talk to you soon.